Hello there and welcome. It's Psychic Cynthia here, Spiritual Psychic Cynthia Killian, and welcome fellow cosmic travelers and seekers of the higher light. This is your Friday forecast, and today we'll be focusing in on the upcoming full moon in Virgo, and that is happening this year, 2021, on February 26th. So that's Saturday, February 26th, and that will be exact at 2:17 a.m. So technically it is on Saturday, February 26th, but if you want to look at it from the lunar perspective, as in night to night, it's basically taking place on Friday night. So put your crystals out if you can to get charged by the full moon light on Friday. If you want to get the highest vibration of the energy, or the strongest, it's still pretty high the next night too though, so you can do it Saturday night if you want, but that's when the energies will be climaxing and reaching a peak for the month. And this forecast, just so you understand, is good for the next 2 weeks, because we're going to be feeling the energies of this full moon this weekend, basically on the day that this video comes out, maybe even the day before. And then we'll continue to feel these energies as they release and express themselves in the physical world for the next couple of weeks. So basically, this is good for these energies will be affecting you not only on the day it's exact, but I would say at least February 25th up until March 12th. And that's because that's the day of the new moon. So the lunar cycle runs 2 months for the full moon energy, 2 weeks for the full moon energy, and 2 weeks, at least for the new moon energy. Actually, they both run a month, but that's a different story. So for these next 2 weeks, we will be focusing in on this lovely full moon in Virgo, 8 degrees Virgo. And this is a time of emotional illumination. It's also a time when the energies are being agitated. Everything is being stirred up. Have you felt a little bit of tension in yourself or restlessness? I think we have this around every full moon, but especially this time, because this is all happening on the wings of the end of Mercury retrograde. And Mercury just went direct not that long ago, not quite a week ago, but just about. It's still in the post-retrograde storm, but get this, the last day of the post-retrograde storm is Saturday, February 26th. So there's some major things happening here at once, 2 major shifts lining up. And this points to this being a significant time for cleansing, for releasing, for letting go and moving on, for recalibrating your energy fields. Now Virgo, which is the sign that the moon will be in at the time of the full moon, is a sign that relegates and regulates the areas of our life such as work, your actual work that you do. That would also be work in the home, household chores and duties. It rules our daily routines, our health routines, our relationships with our pets, if we have any. Let's see, what else do I have here for that? Or habits. Virgo is a sign of habits and routines. It basically rules routines and being organized and efficient. So there may be issues arising around these areas of life. There may be a crisis or a need to rebalance, a need to look at, that life-work balance, a need to look at, are you tending to your work, or where do you need to be more organized and efficient? Is there paperwork that you need to tend to, or tax matters? I know those are all really boring, mundane, earthly things, but Virgo does have a connection with that. When this full moon comes up, it may draw our attention to the need to get reorganized in some area of life, especially with this coming, at the same time that Mercury leaves its post-retrograde storm. So we're all really needing to recalibrate, reorganize, get ourselves back together again, maybe do some spiritual cleansing, maybe do physical cleansing, whether that's of your body or your house or your car or whatever, okay? Lightening your load, so to speak. This is all being highlighted at this time. And I want you to think about this full moon. It is a time of opposition between the sun and the moon. That's literally the phenomenon that is happening. The sun and the moon are having an opposition to each other. So it does bring up conflicts to be resolved, and it brings our attention to where we need to get rebalanced. And the moon is in Virgo, and it deals with all those things that I just spoke of. It also deals with the need for healing and cleansing on a deep level, but especially a physical level, and that connection between our physical elements and our spiritual energies, our emotions. The mind-body connection, some people call it. I like to call it the body-soul connection. But mind, body, soul, you get it. This idea that what is happening in our body is being affected by our emotions and also our karma, our soul contracts, and all of that. And then you can flip it around and say that what happens with our karma and our spiritual energies can be affected by what we do to our bodies. We'll all need to be looking at some aspect of this, and I can't say for sure which aspect of it you'll be needing to look at, because basically, the body part, especially the Virgo part, is a physical part, but it is the mind-body connection too. But then you have Pisces being activated because the sun is in Pisces at the same time we're having this full moon in Virgo. And Pisces is the higher vision. It's or can be, at least in its highest vibration. It's also our spiritual connections, our karma. It's very, very karmic sign. Pisces is a very karmic sign. It shows our undoings, our limitations, our baggage we may have inherited from past lives, our limitations, basically. And with the Virgo being activated too, we might have to find some practical ways to work through those limitations, to deal with those, to face those limitations. So there's a lot going on here. This is a really deep full moon energy. And again, I want you to understand that this vibration isn't just happening on, say, the weekend that the full moon is exact. But these issues and these energies will continue to affect us for some time, until March 12th, actually, 2021. So this forecast, again, is for the next 2 weeks ahead. So just begin to ask yourself, where do you need to rebalance? I mean, do you need to give more energy to working and being more efficient, or getting your household organized, or dealing with some mundane areas of life? Do you need to deal with that? Or maybe, it's time to spend, like me, I had already been doing a lot of that, and I'm still doing some, but I'm finding I need to vibrate more to the Pisces axis of this, and this week at least. So I've been taking some time off and just relaxing and having more spiritual contemplation, and sort of, tuning out from the outer world and tuning in to the inner world. And that's what I needed this week, because in the previous weeks during Mercury retrograde, I've been doing a lot of Virgo-related work. I've been doing a lot of service to others. So that's also Virgo. You may need to do more service to others, though. It just depends. It depends on your life. And, think about the balance between self-care and service to others. Think about the balance between, or it's not just a balance, it's an issue. What we're looking at here is an issue of boundaries, too. And if you've been feeling wore down, or like there's too much to do, you need to look at your boundaries. You need to look at where maybe you're giving too much to others. And the flip side of that is where you're not giving enough to yourself. See, often we want to blame others when we get worn down like this, and we can get resentful, and we say they're taking too much. And listen, there are some people who are natural born takers and will just take, and take. But most people, when they're taking too much, they're not really taking it. It's we're giving too much. Okay? I want you to reframe that, because they can't take from you what you don't give. So just think about that. I mean, it's really a boundary with yourself. If you have a relationship in your life where you just keep overgiving and overgiving, I mean, even if that person is asking and keeps asking, you can say no, okay? Now, there might be some exceptions to this. Maybe you have a sick child, or, I don't know. There could be some very few extreme scenarios. I think a child would be one. And then it's different. If you're a parent, that's your selfless service. You still need to take care of your self-care, though. You still need to balance that. But I'm talking about, other relationships besides our children, okay? Because your children are your children, maybe that's not, and when I say children, I mean under the age of, say, 18. If they're adults, they're not just your children anymore. They're people, okay? They're humans, they're adults. You don't have to be their everything anymore. Again, unless there's some sort of extreme situation with a health condition or something like that. But even then, I mean, we want to encourage everyone in our life who is of, an adult age. We want to encourage them in their higher evolution, and we want to empower them, not enable them in going into a downhill spiral. So, and that's the other part. If we're overgiving, overextending ourselves, often we are encouraging bad behaviors. By bad, I mean not very evolved behaviors in others. We're not helping people evolve by doing everything for them, okay, or by doing too much. Now, there's a flip side to this, too, because there's many people out there that need to open their hearts to give more, to love more, because their hearts have closed down and there are heart walls. And listen, if you're like that, I've been through that phase. I've been through all of this. That's why I can do these videos on it. So sometimes we have to look at, the balance with that. That's part of the Virgo Pisces, too, finding that perfect integration. Because here's a key concept I want you to get here, if you can. That balance is one good first step. We want to balance, say, work with relaxation. And we want to balance, organization and being efficient with time just spent spacing out or daydreaming, or, we want to balance the creative aspects of ourselves. We want to have energy in that, and we want to be inspired. And then we have to balance that with some of the work we have to do in our daily life, which isn't inspiring, the drudgery. It's just necessary. We all have it. So we need to balance chaos with organization. We need to have both. We can't get rid of it. So working on the balance of these things is a good first step. But if you really want to up level, if you want to evolve, take a quantum leap in your evolution, then don't just think about balancing. Think about integration. Think about how you can integrate, for example, having fabulous self-care with being a wonderful, kind, caring person to others as well. Why should it be one or the other? But I get that we think in duality in our modern world, and I get that, we go through periods where we focus more on one or the other, but it's possible to find a way to sort of mix this all up in one, to blend it together so that there's a perfect harmony, harmony, integration. These are the steps beyond balance. So these are some things to think about in the next couple of weeks. And let me check my notes before I sign off. So many notes, I never talk about half of it, but that's okay. You just get what you need through these videos. Yeah. One other thought I just had, and it's not really in my notes, but it's something I've been working with personally, so I will share with you. Because I find that this time of year when the sun is moving through Pisces, and then we also will have the full moon in Virgo, and it even goes on longer than this because we'll have the new moon in Pisces will be on March 12th, so we'll still have a continuation some of the Piscean energy. So it's sometimes a very confusing time. I mean, it's a time where we float and we can feel more connected to the spiritual realms, but then we also don't know where we're going, you know. There might be a feeling that we need to make change, especially with this full moon, because it is trining Uranus in Taurus. So it's a good time to make change, and the universe is supporting you in doing that easily and effortlessly. But it's easy to become overwhelmed and to think that you need to do this and that, because Virgo and Pisces are mutable signs. We have a lot of mutable energy right now, so it's all kind of scattered. And then you can get feeling overwhelmed and you're not sure what you're supposed to do. And then you do nothing, right? And not that you always have to be doing something. Okay, I'm not saying that. You don't always have to be doing something. That's what Pisces teaches us. It's okay sometimes to just sit around and drink tea and have cookies and scones and, you know, chill while you wait for your next inspiration. But let's say you have some inspirations calling out to you, but you don't know where to go to get started, or there's a lot of messages coming in. The question that I always meditate on with that is a simple one. I just ask my inner deep self, what is mine to do? What is mine to do? What is yours to do? And you can ask yourself this question when you get up in the morning. You can say, what is mine to do today? And just listen. Listen to that inner guidance, and it will tell you. And then get on doing it, you know. The inner guidance is coming from that deep Pisces self, and then the Virgo within you. It doesn't matter what your signs are, by the way. We all have Virgo somewhere, and we all have Pisces somewhere. So that inner organizer, she'll just get busy doing it. You just have to tell her what it is that is yours to do. And often, when I ask myself this, it's just very simple things that I could easily do right now. It might mean writing that email, or reaching out to that client, or reaching out to, you know, one of my family members, or, oh, geez, today what is mine to do is to vacuum the kitchen. Okay, Virgo is a cleaning sign, so don't be at all surprised if you don't get on a cleaning kick. And remember, there's a lot of cleansing energies being activated now with Virgo and Pisces and coming out of the Mercury retrograde. So, you know, even if you can't figure out what is yours to do today, especially if you can't figure that out, well, look around you. What kind of cleansing can you do? That's where I would focus in. If you have no idea, absolutely no idea, you're feeling stuck, you don't know how to go forward, you're feeling down, or you're just not feeling your normal radiant self, do some cleansing or cleaning, because that will raise the vibrations very quickly when we're under a Virgo or Piscean influence, such as we are for at least the next 2 weeks. Alrighty, well, there's your forecast for the next couple of weeks relating to the full moon in Virgo. And I'm wishing you all a most splendid full moon weekend and a most splendid cycle of cleansing and getting reorganized and getting prepared in the next couple of weeks ahead. Until next time, bright blessings to you all.